So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6.
They're saying that TikTok is foreign controlled and that they're spying on us. But Google and Facebook are spying on us on a much greater scale, and they're foreign controlled too.
Madonna is conducting a ritual on her current concert tour. I believe she's reading a chapter in the book of Revelations about the end times, but when I show you the reading, pay very close attention to exactly what they're doing on stage.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today I got a set of TikToks that will make you rethink reality. So if you guys are ready, let's check this out.
Look at your M closely. There's a gap right here in the letter M. It's never connected. So you go into Hebrew. The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can. But my interest is the word monster. What do you see in the O? There's a cross.
Okay.
What has Christ got to do with an energy drink, let alone the name Monster? So I thought, well, maybe this is a Christian company then. BFC at the bottom of the can. Do you know what that stands for? That's the F word. Big can. In fact, they write it on the side of the can, so I know that's the F word.
Okay.
Now, do you know what a MILF is?
Yes.
That's on the box. MILFs, dig it, and you will too. This is not a Christian company at all. So why would they have the cross on the can? Here is the message. Antichrist. 666 in Hebrew. And then the Bible talks about the beast in Revelation. And look at Monster's ad. This is their statement. You see these M's everywhere. Hats, t-shirts, bumper stickers. Is there another agenda here? If God can use people and product, so can Satan. And look at it this way. Even if the M was not the issue, you cannot deny that that is a cross. And what is witchcraft? When the cross goes upside down, bottoms up, and the devil laughs. Something to think about.
Wow.
And your average person will like you to believe that all these are just coincidences. That this was not meant to be a 666. It was just a scratch of a claw. But the name Monster is a coincidence. The whole slogan of Unleash the Beast is also another coincidence. You guys tell me if you think it is.
They're saying that TikTok is foreign controlled and that they're spying on us. But Google and Facebook are spying on us on a much greater scale, and they're foreign controlled too. They're run by people who hate the United States, demonstrably, they say so. So Google and Facebook are not a threat, but TikTok is?
You know, my concern has always been with the centralization of power, with giving up power. I don't care whether it's a Republican or a Democrat president.
Amen.
I don't want any president to have the power to ban apps. Now, the company that owns TikTok, the company wants to try to exist. It's a very popular app. It has a great deal of value, so they're doing anything they can to comply, and yet the hysterics in the House are just shut them down, communism this, communism that. We can't, emulate the Chinese to try to protect our way of life, becoming like the Chinese and banning things. TikTok is banned in China. They don't have TikTok. They have a censored version in China that the Chinese government does control, but they don't control TikTok over here. If we ban TikTok, we're simply becoming and acting like the Chinese.
We all know that the government doesn't give 3 F's about us. The only reason they want to ban TikTok is because they cannot control what people say on TikTok and what is being shown on TikTok. Because if they were able to control it, they wouldn't care that we were using TikTok. They don't care that, what's really posted or that is spying on the public or whatever. Like you said, Google and Facebook are already doing that to a much larger scale. And they're not banning it or intervening. If they cannot control the narrative, they're gonna ban it. Simple as that.
Madonna is conducting a ritual on her current concert tour. I believe she's reading a chapter in the book of Revelations about the end times, but when I show you the reading, pay very close attention to exactly what they're doing on stage. This goes on for a very long time, but I'm going to be cutting to different scenes just so you guys get the idea of what's going on.
For the time is near. He is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. Everyone who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will wail on account of him. those of you who have not known the son called the deep things of Satan. I know your works. I know your toil and your patient endurance. And how you cannot hear evil men, but have tested those who call themselves apostles. But are not. But I have this against you, that you have abandoned the love you had. Wanting, needing, waiting, for you to justify. And I saw a beast rising out of the sea with 10 horns and 7 heads, and a blasphemous name upon his head. And the beast that I saw was like a leopard, its feet were like a bear's, and its mouth was like a lion's mouth, and to the dragon gave his power. Men worshipped the dragon, for he had given his authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast, and who can fight against the beast?" And the beast was given a mouth uttered in a haughty and blasphemous words.
I mean, what can I say? It's right in front of everybody's eyes, but majority of people don't want to hear it. They don't want to see it. They don't care what you tell them. They think it's all cool, but they don't sit down to think, why are all these music events so satanic? You shouldn't even call them ritualistic. They just plain old satanic. Can't force someone to see what they don't want to see.
Whenever God is mentioned at the Grammys, or God is mentioned at the Oscars, or football games, basketball games, or when you get $100 million contract, I want to just thank God, because without God and my mom and my family, I mean, it's kind of it. They don't talk about God no other time publicly other than a big moment happening. And yet, people are worshiping the devil publicly all year long. The whole music video had devil worshiping in it. Y'all see this. Y'all see what's going on. So at the end of the day, man, I just had to really realize, like, wow, man, Denzel Washington does not do an interview on a red carpet or a sit-down interview. He does not do any interviews without at some point transitioning into talking about the goodness of God.
If you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God.
Yeah, they do say God, but they don't say which God. I mean, you don't see them mention Jesus Christ or Allah. You just hear them say God, but they don't specify, because they're not talking about the same God. Whether you're religious or you're not, if you believe in God or you do or you don't, you can't deny what they're showing you and what they're saying and what they're thinking. It's plain as day that they are worshiping the devil. I was thinking of this, like, we should be asking ourselves this question: why are all these people trying to tell you there is no God, but then they are worshiping the devil? There can't be no devil without God, right? So just think about that.
The new iPhone update is kind of freaking me out. I don't know if you've seen this, and I know a lot of people think it's cool, but listen to this. So the front-facing camera will now lock onto your eyes and track them as they move. And then with this, you'll be able to swipe and press physical buttons with your eyes. This is going to be awesome for people with physical disabilities, but this is going to be on all of our iPhones. Anyway, this is the scariest part. So Siri is getting a massive AI update, and it's going to have total access to your phone and all the information in it. For example, this is what it's going to be able to do, and this is an example from Apple. It says that you can ask Siri to retrieve information from emails, like check when their mom's flight is landing, or locate an image of your license and extract that info and fill out a form for you. This is what it's saying. You can ask Siri to find an email for you. You can tell Siri, yo, find an image from 2 years ago of me and my friend, or find a picture of my license and give it to me, and it will. Any kind of information on your phone. You can ask Siri for it and she'll give it to you.
And here's another one of those, here's a little nifty feature for your iPhone, but give up all these rights and let us get a hold of all your data and all your personal information just for this one nifty thing that we're giving you. I don't know. They want to cover themselves by saying, oh, but you know, you have the option of opting out of it in your privacy settings. But then why do you guys enable it by default instead of having it disabled? They enable it by default because they know that most people either don't know how to go about disabling it, they don't know that there's an option to disable that, or they simply don't even know that the feature is there to begin with. In most most cases, there's going to be a lot of more people that have it enabled than those who disable it. But you guys let me know in the comments below if that's something that you will keep enabled or if you're going to disable it as soon as it's launched.
If you have an iPhone, you are going to want to watch this video right now, because if you don't, this feature is going to remain active and you are stuffed. Right, so I'm pretty sure that 99% of you watching this video have an iPhone. If you don't, you're the lucky ones for once. Now make sure you share this video with someone else who has an iPhone, because this is important that everybody sees it. So of course Apple have been in the news a bit the last few weeks with loads of different things coming out, which, you know, isn't great, but this is pretty bad. So there's been loads of warnings coming out online about this new feature that came out in the latest software update. And researchers and authorities are saying you need to switch this off right now because, yeah, you're a bit screwed otherwise. So in this update right here, which came out not long ago at all, it released this app called the Journal, okay? Now, if you haven't updated to this yet and you don't have the Journal app on your phone, then you're fine. But what people are saying is there's a lot of security risks because this app is just automatically turned on and allowed for everything to happen. So it has access to your photos, your contacts, your numbers, absolutely everything on your phone. And yeah, they could just share that with anyone they want. Now, Apple, of course, have come out and said that you can go and turn this off, like, do what you want, but it's not a risk. They're not going to be sharing your data with anyone, but yeah. Still, though, people are recommending that you do go and just turn some of it off unless you're using it, of course. So just look it up on their Journal and it will come up there and you can just turn off all and you're sorted. But yeah, hit that follow button and I'll keep you updated.
And there's another one, now the Journal. Yeah, sure. Let's keep that enabled so that he could listen to everything you say, have access to everything you do. This is getting out of hand. You guys let me know in the comments below if you guys have iPhones or Androids. And if you do have an iPhone, let me know why.
Cholesterol doesn't cause heart disease. To say that cholesterol causes heart disease is like saying the fire trucks are causing the fires. Well, they must. They're always there. Huh? That's like saying that we've just discovered that ambulances are causing all the accidents. Well, they must. They're always there. What are we told when someone has a heart problem? Stop the fats. Why are they told to stop the fats? Because of cholesterol. Isn't that right? So now I want to give you the truth on cholesterol. So your liver makes cholesterol, and your liver makes cholesterol according to the body's demands. And 80% of the cholesterol that your liver makes is made from glucose. And 20% of the cholesterol that your liver makes is made from fat. You see, it's not the butter on the bread, it's the bread under the butter that's the problem. The wrong guy's been shot. So there are two main types of cholesterol. There's HDL, high density lipoprotein, and there's LDL, low density lipoprotein. HDL is called the good guy because HDL is the carrier and it carries excess cholesterol back to the liver. That's why it's called the good guy. LDL is called the bad guy. But you know, the body doesn't make anything bad. What's LDL's role? Its role is that of a repairer and a rebuilder. That's what it is. That's what it does. But it does something else too, which is also very important. It delivers cholesterol to the brain because the brain loves cholesterol. Do you know the fattiest food on the planet with the highest cholesterol levels is breast milk in the first month of life? Because that developing brain will not develop without rich amounts of cholesterol and fat. Did you hear that? So let's have a look at how these two work together. So this is an artery, and because of its low density, LDL is always on the edge. And because of its high density, HDL is always in the middle. Now let's say the person is a smoker. There are 4,000 chemicals in one cigarette, and it can poke holes in the arterial wall. Let's say the person's living in a mouldy house. You know, when mould gets into the blood, it's damaging. And if a person's on a high wheat, high sugar, high alcohol diet, that feeds it more holes. Let's say the person's got a mouthful of mercury fillings, or they're eating huge amounts of fish. You know, there's hardly a fish today that doesn't have mercury in it. And mercury is a neurotoxin. It damages the cells. Who's going to plug up the holes? The repairer and the rebuilder. LDL, it's already on the edge. They're ready to plug up the hole, because if we don't plug the hole up, you're going to bleed into the tissues and die. And the person doesn't realise the dangers. So what's happening to the arterial wall? You see, cholesterol doesn't cause heart disease. So what causes heart disease? Damaged arteries.
That's eye-opening. Carbs is the enemy. It's not fats. Fats is natural. Enemy is carbs. Everything on our diets has been modified so that the majority of everything that you eat in your daily intake is carbs. Carbs is what's killing us, but they don't want to tell you that, because they want to sell you the carbs. They want you to consume carbs, get sick, and then sell you the medicine, which will also get you sick, so they can sell you more medicine.
You may have heard that disease does not thrive in an alkaline environment. This is very true. It's impossible to get alkaline by drinking alkaline water. That was one of the biggest marketing myths ever sold to the public. So just drinking alkaline water will not make the blood more alkaline. However, contacting the surface of the Earth can. And how does it do that? Well, we know that pH stands for potential hydrogen. So in other words, pH is a charge. So if I want to change the electrical charge in the body, then I apply a current, a low Gauss current, a magnetic current about the same strength as the surface of the Earth. So God gives this to us every day. Think about the last time that you had bare feet touching bare grass, sand, dirt, grass, actually touching bare grass. I don't mean with shoes or sandals on, and I don't mean walking on concrete or tile. I mean touching raw, bare Mother Earth, grass, sand, dirt. So when you do that, the moment that you come in contact with the surface of the Earth, there's an electron exchange. We actually discharge into the Earth. Earthing and grounding is one of the most beneficial things that you can do for a state of optimal health.
I want to call Kat, because how about all the people that are in other countries that usually walk around with no shoes every day? Let's say Africa, for instance. Most people usually wear no shoes. They're in contact with the earth every day and they still get sick. So what happened there? Sorry, dude, but I'm not buying it.
MS-13 is one of the major gangs.
And they are satanic. They started doing satanic rituals. I don't know exactly when that started, but it was well documented. In the case of El Salvador, we were literally the murder capital of the world. And we turned it into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere.
You did that in just a couple of years. How did you change it?
So we pray.
You've transformed the country in a good way, and you're literally the most popular elected leader in the world. Did you ever worry they would try and put you in jail?
Well, they did.
What advice would you give to another former democratically elected leader seeking office who is facing jail time?
Democracy works. Nobody can say it doesn't. But if you don't give maintenance to the system, it will fall.
In your inaugural, you said, in this term, the first point of my plan is seek God's wisdom.
Yes.
That is what you said.
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
Why would that be the first point of an economic?
Why wouldn't it be?
I've never heard any leader of any country say that.
Because they probably forgot to represent the people that elected them.
Did you guys catch that part where he said that the MS-13 are all satanic? That's news to me, but I mean, kind of makes sense. There's another part to that video that I've watched, and it's basically an ex-member of MS-13 coming out and saying that he was a hitman for them. But they basically he left the gang because they were in a house and they were gonna baby be in front of him, and he didn't want to do it. And when he confronted them about it, that he asked them why, and their answer was because the beast asks us to do it. He needs a sacrifice. He needs a baby or something along those lines. That's freaking wild to me. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about that?
3 competing extraterrestrial civilizations have been using this planet as a laboratory. What I've been told by a Defense Intelligence Agency analyst in December of 1999, and he said, my job was to monitor and analyze the conflicting competition of 3 extraterrestrial biological civilizations in conflict with each other on and apparently over something about this planet for genetic manipulation for at least 270 million years. And I said, well, 270 million years is before the time of the dinosaurs. And he looked me straight in the eye and he said, one of the 3 competing groups made the dinosaurs as an 80 million plus year long experiment. We think it was the Ebens, the ones with the heads that are shaped like this and pear-shaped chin. He said, the Ebens have demonstrated for us that they can move matter in this universe into another dimension or another timeline. And they do it all of the time. He said 66 million years ago, something was headed for this planet that was 6 miles in diameter. Was it an asteroid? Were they responsible for it? That took out 95% of surface life on Earth, including all of the dinosaurs. If this was their experiment, they could have moved that 6-mile diameter object into timeline or another dimension, and there never ever would have been any collision. What else can we conclude? But they did an 80 million-plus year experiment. And then, is this the way they ended it? By taking out 95% of all Earth surface life.
That sounds like a good plot for a movie. I would love to watch something like that. All the crap that's on TV lately. If all that is true, it kind of makes sense. If you create an experiment and that experiment is not working and it gets out of hand and they want to get rid of it or erase all traces of it, in a planetary level, best way to do it will be to hit Earth with an asteroid and wipe it all out.
That's why you need to be careful what music you listen to. Because if music can get rid of a demon, it can attract one. And most of the music out here now attracts demons. Then you wonder why your lifestyle, you grooving and bumping in the car, but when you get out, you can't really figure out why your life is standing still. Sometimes it's the music that you're listening to, because whoever you listen to was on them attaches itself to you. Rick Joyner said, he was in a vision, the Lord told him, he said in the last days, he said the enemy will bring up singers and other musicians, he said, and they will baptize millions of people into the demonic in one moment. Whoever you accept, you get what's on them. I reject a whole lot of stuff. So I reject stuff in the world. Unfortunately, I reject a lot of stuff in what we call church. You know, not all gospel music is gospel.
Pastor was dropping bombs, man. Wow, that make a lot of sense. I haven't listened to music, I don't know since when. From time to time, I might listen to some old music, not of my own accord, but because it's playing somewhere. But like, I don't go out of my way to go and oh, let me go listen to this, and oh, let me go listen to that. Can't even sit down and listen to anything nowadays. Let me know in the comments below if you still listen to music, and what type of music do you still listen to. If you enjoy the content, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to continue watching more videos, there's another one here, and there's the playlist on this side, so go ahead and click it. You want to keep watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the video, or if you have any suggestions, and see you next time.